Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from NoPlay2091. Am I the beehole for telling my fiance's stepmother that my fiance didn't want her engagement ring after she continuously pressured me to propose with it? So I, a 25-year-old male, proposed to my girlfriend of 10 years last month. We had discussed getting engaged before and what we wanted that to look like and what we wanted marriage to look like for us. One thing my fiancée, Kylie, was upfront about was she would love to have her mother's engagement ring. Her maternal grandparents had it since her mom was terminally ill. She had wanted it saved for Kylie, and Kylie loved the idea of having her mom's ring because it was something her mom designed. She never said I had to, but I know how much it meant to her. She was also clear that she did not want her dad's wife's, aka stepmother's, Ruth's ring. Kylie does not like Ruth. She does not view her as a stepmother or a real parent to her. She tolerates her because she does not want to lose her father. But she said she'd rather get engaged without a ring than have one from Ruth. I always knew she didn't think much of the woman, so it came as no surprise to me, and I always knew I'd turn it down if offered, even before Kylie said anything, because her feelings on her were clear. So here's the issue. I got the ring back in November and started planning the proposal. Around the end of November, Ruth was questioning if I had plans to propose. She asked me directly when I saw her one day, and I said Kylie and I had talked about it. She mentioned giving me her ring, and I told her thank you, but that wouldn't be necessary. And what followed was a solid 6 weeks of this woman trying to make me take the ring so I could propose. She never even got confirmation that I was proposing, but she was adamant. I started shopping in different stores to avoid her entirely. I thought proposing would be the end to Ruth's pressure, but she confronted me even after the engagement and asked me why I had rejected her ring but used the other one. I told her Kylie dreamed of her mom's ring. I was then scolded for referring to Kylie's mom as her mom. Ruth told me she has been mothering Kylie since she was 6, and she's been there for her every step of life since, and she would have wanted her ring more. She told me I was selfish for denying Kylie that. I told her that Kylie did not want the ring, and it should come as no surprise that Kylie wanted her mom's ring, when her mom has been gone for a long time. Ruth then starts on a rant about how she's my future mother-in-law and the future grandmother of our children, and I should be more careful how I speak to her because our kids do not deserve to grow up around such tension. Oh, they don't have to grow up around such tension, love. They can just cut you out. Back to the story. She stormed off and complained to Kylie's dad. He and Kylie talked about it. Kylie apologized for Ruth being OTT and told me that I did the right thing, but some of Kylie's paternal family believed I was wrong, and that I'm helping keep the gap between Kylie and Ruth, when in an ideal world, I would encourage Kylie to be more accepting of Ruth by treating Ruth with more respect and acting as though she's my mother-in-law. It doesn't help that Ruth is still saying that I was so rude. Am I the beehole? No, OP, you are not the beehole. Your fiance made it very clear she did not want that woman's ring. And what's with these step-parents being so delusional and thinking that they can replace someone's bio-parent when they love that bio-parent? Of course she's gonna want her real mother's ring and not, her father's wife's ring. That's just the way it is. And I love how she's calling you rude when you weren't rude. She was rude. She became a stalker and kept trying to hunt you down where you had to change your whole pattern of shopping because this woman kept trying to find you. OP. That man, I don't know. No, I mean, I guess you know what you're marrying into. If I were you, I'd get ready for some no contact if you marry her, which I'm not saying don't, because she sounds lovely. It just sounds like she's bringing this woman who with her. But the main reason I'd say you're not the beehole is because you're doing what she wants. She wants the ring from her bio mom, which makes sense to me. And Ruth must really be delusional to not pick up on Kylie not liking her or seeing her as a parent, because in her mind she's like, I'm her mom. And I will never get that rude ghoulish crap where it's like, I'm your mom now, I'm your dad now, forget about your bio parent that you love that you had tragically taken from you. I will never understand that way of thinking. Of course that person is going to hate you if you put down the person they love. So again, OP, not the beehole. Please Please enjoy your wedding. Forget about that woman. And if I were you and Kylie, I'd start getting ready to go no contact because it sounds like she's going to be relentless and she sounds a bit unhinged. And our next one comes from Biodrama 1266. Am I the beehole for banning visits with my son's bio grandparents after they ambushed him with his birth mother? I will try to keep this backstory basic. My brother was married to a woman called Kathy. They are both addicts who entered recovery when they had a son, Freddie. When Freddie was 5, my brother passed away. Kathy relapsed. My husband and I got custody of Freddie when he was 6 and later adopted him. He is now 12. We've tried to keep a relationship between Freddie and his maternal grandparents, Pam and Joe, and Freddie goes to see them once a month to spend a day and sometimes an overnight with them. Pam and Joe have brought up Kathy has been clean for over a year and they'd like to reintroduce her in Freddie's life. We've said no to this because Freddie was in therapy, and his therapist has shared that he has extreme negativity towards Kathy. We've never shared this with Pam and Joe because it's none of their business. We've just said no. The time is not right. Last weekend, we dropped Freddie off, intending he would spend the day there, and took our daughter to a nearby riding school. After about an hour, we get a call from Freddie saying we need to pick him up because Kathy is there. We rushed over to the house to find him, Joe and Pam outside arguing. It devolves into chaos, with Joe and Pam trying to convince Freddie to come inside while berating me. Then Kathy came outside, and the arguing got worse. Eventually, Freddie started shouting at Kathy, and she started sobbing, and we took that opportunity to leave. Joe and Pam called and texted, but I ignored them for a couple of days while we calmed down. When we called, we told them that we'll no longer be allowing Freddie to visit them. They betrayed our trust, and the things they said about us and told us were heinous. We said we are done with them for the foreseeable future. They pleaded with us, but we held firm. We've blocked them from Freddie's phone, but we're keeping the line open with us, because we want to collect evidence of their harsh harassment just in case. Kathy has been reaching out and begging for contact with Freddie. We've ignored that as well. Family advice is split. Some say we've done the right thing, some said we should allow supervised contact. Freddie has said he will see them again, but not Kathy. But we just don't feel that we can guarantee that. We've never got along with Pam and Joe. And I don't know if it's the coddling or our judgment, but I know that this is the only link he has to Kathy outside of the family. But on the other hand, Freddie was in tears for hours, having nightmares after seeing Kathy. Am I the beehole for thinking enough is enough? Ooh, okay, this is an easy one. You are not the beehole. Pam and was it Joe, whatever his name is? I don't care to learn the names of people like that. Are the beehole. So is his druggy mom. That's cool that she's a year sober, but why would you want to reintroduce someone like that in someone's life when they've been doing well? And your therapist said, which yes, you're correct, that's none of their business, but the therapist said, do not let him near them. And you told them to not do that. And they went and did a really big ultimate betrayal against you. Honestly, OP, I get why you're keeping the line open to get evidence. That's cool, but I would never let him see them again until he's like old enough to be able to fight them off, I guess. And the grandparents are idiots. That was really nice of you to still let them see him, even though you guys don't get along. That's really big of you. And what do? They spit in your face and let your child, near his drug addict mom. I know, oh, she's a year sober. Who knows? Those people willing to betray you like that, they could easily be lying about her. And I like how she comes out and starts screaming like, oh, she was always a good parent. She's terrible. They're all terrible. OP. Honestly, go no contact, keep no contact. Don't let them see him again. If he's 18 and wants to see him again, cool. But you got to do what's best for the kid. And it sounds like they're giving him nightmares and he's crying. Don't let him near people like that. Again, not the beehole. And our final one comes from Apart Marinberry 77. Am I the beehole for telling my mom and her husband they got what they wanted, so they should leave my sister alone? My younger sister got married in November, and our mom's husband walked her down the aisle. My sister did not want him. She wanted me. But he's been married to my mom since my sister was 6, and she had a lot of pressure on her to ask him because he tried to be a good father to her and stepped up and was there and paid for stuff, etc., etc. She didn't have him pay for the wedding or college education, but she knew she'd be judged harshly for not asking him when he wanted to, when he was in her life for so long. The day of the wedding, my sister was crying on my shoulder for a while about how upset she was that he was walking her and not me. She wished Dad was there, etc., etc. Mom's husband overheard everything and walked her anyway. And then, the next day, he and my mom heard her and my brother-in-law talking about it, how much she hated the experience and wanted to wipe it from her memory. My mom and her husband are offended, and I think he was hurt that she was so upset by him doing it, but they weren't happy she was so upset/bothered by him doing it. My mom tried to drag me into their anger, and I told her I wasn't angry. They both claimed I should have more respect for him, as the man who stepped up when Dad died. I was 15 and he and my mom got married, so he played a very small role in my life. I told my mom's husband he got what he wanted, and I told him they both got what they wanted, which is him walking my sister down the aisle, and they need to leave my sister alone because she has every right to be unhappy. When they pressured her, he argued that she's his little girl, and this is hard for him. I told him he never listened because she has never ever claimed to be his little girl. She has always seen herself as our dad's daughter, and he will never be our dad. They told me I overstepped, and my mom claimed I should understand why. It's an insult to them that my sister reacted the way she did. Am I the beehole? Ugh, you are not the beehole, and your mom sucks, and her husband sucks too. So they overhear her that she's not happy with this, and he still walks her down the aisle. He obviously doesn't care about her, because if he wanted to be a good father and a good parent, he would try to make her happy, which he didn't. He did what would make him happy, what would make him look good and feel good, instead of putting her, before him. So no, he's not a good person. No, he's not always over there for him. He was not always there for her, and good on her for loving her bio dad and seeing her bio dad as her dad, because this guy is obviously a jerk just from what he did, because he knew and he still did it, so he doesn't care. And I love how your jelly-spined mom is over there. You should feel bad for him. No, your mom sucks too. He sucks, she sucks, or not everybody sucks, but you know what I mean. And I'm kind of with you. They got what they wanted and they still want more. OP, you're not the beehole. I don't know what to tell you because what's done is done. I guess if you guys do like a second wedding with just friends and certain family that won't blab, maybe you could try to like help her erase the memory of that. But OP, not the beehole, none of that. And your parent is a failure, and her husband is a terrible person who should not have done that because he knew he's not a good person. Again, OP, not the beehole. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.